What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. We finally get a Baltimore Ravens prime time game, divisional matchup. This is the one circled on the calendar, right? This is the one at the beginning of the year. I know we played the Buffalo Bills early in the year. We played the Patriots early in the year. But we got the revenge game against the Dolphins early in the year. But when we were looking at that schedule, it was week 5. Which is funny because last year it was also week 5 in primetime. They played the Colts in that primetime game. But it was week 5. It was like, this is against the team that won the division. This is against the team that won the Super Bowl. This is against the team that's been talking a lot of trash to the Baltimore Ravens. This is the team the Ravens need to beat the most this season because it has the most impact on where they would be in the playoff standings if they are able to make it. Joshua, we're going in the all black tonight. How are you feeling about this game? What's going through your mind?
First of all, it gotta be a DOA type of night. So, everybody gotta come in with that mindset. Listen, we gotta get some get back. Cincinnati Bengals, they own to us last year. You got Jamal Chase in the press is talking about they're not going to put Marlon Humphrey on a 1-on-1. I'm like, okay, young buck, I respect that. Talk your talk. You earned it. But right now, the Baltimore Ravens, they got a chip on their shoulder. And then we get the main man Ronnie Stanley back. He may not play the full game, but he is going to get his snaps. He's going to get his reps. He's definitely going to get acclimated back into the NFL. We going to be without Justice Hill. It's all right. So you're going to have J.K. along with the 2 old guys behind them. So, I mean, it's a lot riding on this game. And I believe if we win, this is going to put us at the front for the AFC North.
Yes, it will, and it would be an uncontested. The Browns are 2-3. The Steelers are 1-4.
Okay, yeah.
Steelers are. I feel bad for the Steelers. I don't often say that, but I feel bad for them. But Kenny Pickett, from what I saw, I didn't watch much of the game. He looked good, so shout out to Kenny Pickett. But we have Ronnie Stanley back, but we're missing a huge piece. Mr. Rashad Bateman, who is, we've seen this offense without Rashad Bateman. I think this offense is worse without Rashad Bateman than it is without Mark Andrews. Because I feel like the tight end position, teams are always going to pay attention to that against the Ravens. When Mark Andrews is out, like people are going to be like, oh, we got to stop Isaiah Likely and Nick Boyle or whoever's, playing at that time.
Yeah.
But without Rashad Bateman, do the Ravens have a receiver that can get separation? Because Devin Duvernay, I love Devin Duvernay. He can make those contested catches. He's got speed. So, if he's running a certain route, he's faster than the guy. He may be able to get a step on him. But we don't really have any guys that are built for the route running like Rashad Bateman is.
Yeah.
Are you worried at all about the Ravens pass game without Bateman? And even Justice Hill, who's been kind of a pretty solid pass catching back for the Ravens.
If we're going to be honest, and I know there's going to be a lot of pressure, the second best route runner is the guy that's coming back tonight, is James Prochet. That's a lot to put on him. I'm not expecting him to, put up big 200, 140 numbers, but at the same time, this is a debut for him where he's going to get a lot of time tonight. So, yeah and no. It just really depends on how Cincinnati Bengals play us too. I think the Cincinnati Bengals defense is going to be more keyed in and locked in on Lamar Jackson versus Mark Andrews, because everybody knows Lamar Jackson is the X factor. So if they feel like they can take him out, maybe they feel like they have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry, I just saw an insane play in this Padres-Mets game. Go Padres. I'm rocking my Padres hat right now because I hate the Mets. So shout out to what?
Not just want my Padres to go against the Dodgers.
See, the thing is, Padres-Dodgers is like such a fun series to watch.
It would be.
Like Mets-Dodgers would be so boring because the Mets have no power. Yeah. Like Dodgers-Padres, like I think the Mets have better top end pitching than the Padres, but like the Padres got power, and it'll be a divisional matchup. That would be a lot of fun to watch. But I don't want to talk about baseball too much. I mean, I'm fine to talk baseball. I have no problems with it. Also, I'm going to change this color right here. Right now, we've got this green going on. Let's get this to be kind of purple. There we go. All right, that's all set up. YPC, if the wide receiver struggles tonight, do you see the Rams pulling a trade for a wide receiver? I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody that they can get because they would. I mean, the Ravens are at like maybe $1 million, maybe $2 million in cap space.
They little under $1 million at this point.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's a rookie wide receiver, or not a rookie wide receiver, a wide receiver on a rookie deal. There's probably not a first-round pick. They wouldn't be able to pay because first-round picks make $5 million a year or so. I mean, if there's a third, fourth-round pick kind of guy, I don't know. But remember, Andy Isabella will be coming to the Ravens. I don't think he's practiced with the Ravens yet.
He hasn't practiced.
So I think like next week we're going to be able to get Andy Isabella, and we could get Isabella and Bateman, which could actually be a really good like that's a trio that I'm okay. I don't know, not a trio, a quartet, right? Mm-hmm. Bateman, Duvernay, DeMarcus, and Andy Isabella, because Isabella can just come in and be that deep threat.
Yeah,
DeMarcus can kind of be. We're waiting to see DeMarcus because like DeMarcus has shown flashes. The Ravens just haven't used him very much. And then Duvernay's been a beast this year. I have no complaints about Devin Duvernay. You know what I would love to see? First play, first kick, Devin Duvernay. Not just to the crib. I want to get a truck in there. I want to see the kicker, and I want to see him put him on the ground. And then take it to the crib because we haven't seen a lot of that physicality from him so far this season.
Yeah,
we know he's got it.
Debo, then take it to the crib.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the other thing is, I saw in a game today. Oh, I can't remember which game it was. It was either the 49ers game today or it was the Rams game today. I was watching both just now, and the kick returner. Oh, it was in the 49ers game. The Panthers kick returner completely decked Robbie Gould and injured him. He dropped the shoulder, ran right through him. Gould was injured. Oh, it didn't look like it was a serious injury. I think, I don't know what they pulled him out for. I don't think he played the rest of the game. It may have been a concussion. Obviously, I hope he's okay. But, like, that's the physicality that I want. Like, you have to be physical when you have the body and the build of Devin Duvernay. Right. I want to see that come into fruition. Obviously, don't, like, turn and run into somebody. Don't pull a Trent Richardson or whatever, but if there's someone in your way, let's stick it to them early, because that's the Ravens this year. It's almost the opposite. It's kind of weird. Okay, I don't even know if it's the opposite of last year. The Ravens are bad on their first drive, but they're really good in the first half. So it seems like they're able to get that momentum quickly, but it's very different. Like 2019 Ravens, it was like. I mean, they scored on almost every single opening drive. Like they scored a touchdown. It was just, they get the ball, they run up they get up the field, they score a touchdown. I'm not really noticing that this year. It's kind of the first quarter they get into the game and then they start scoring a lot and they get into half with a lot of points. Second quarter, I think they're fantastic. That's probably where they've scored their most points. But the benefit is it's all about just like asserting yourself in the first half. Assert every good player that you have so that they have to worry about it. If they're not worried about Mark Andrews going into the second half, because the Ravens haven't been able to get him the ball, or, oh man, we're not being very physical. This is the AFC North. This is our first game. I still think it's complete BS that our schedule started and it was all AFC East teams. That makes no sense. But this is where the Ravens have to assert their physicality, not just to the Bengals, but for the rest of the league to know this team is physical. Because last week against the Bills, that first half, they were unbelievably physical.
Yeah, that was going after them. It was going at them for sure. It seemed like the first opening drive, they just filled the team out. Whereas T.O.
it means.
For sure. Only thing is, when we ride, we don't need Lamar to play like Russell. But I definitely feel like when it comes to our Ravens offense right now in the beginning, our first drive is like it's like we in a filling out stage. Whereas like how you bring up 2019, we're gonna go ahead and smash you in the mouth. We're gonna run some of our biggest plays at you, throw the deepest ball. We're gonna take you by surprise. So I mean, I guess as we continue getting guys back and everything like that, we're gonna start going the route of playing that smash mouth. Oh, let's take them by surprise. Let's throw the deep ball. Let's get that big play action early versus getting it waiting until second quarter, because I feel like if you set the tone early, you're gonna take a team by surprise. And tonight you had to take the Cincinnati Bengals by surprise. They don't have the best offensive line. Their defense is they're a little meh. And so you feel me? I know we don't have Rashad Bateman, but we gotta be smoking on that Eli Apple pack tonight for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you look at the Ravens team, and the Bengals are going to come into this game, and they're going to look at it like the Ravens are going to have to run the football to win this game, right? Because they don't have Rashad Bateman. Obviously, it's their first game back with Ronnie Stanley in basically 2 years. He played one game last year. He played, I think, the opener, and then he got hurt. But they're going to come into the game, and they're going to be like, wow, the Ravens are going to try and run this ball. I want the Ravens to come out passing. And it doesn't have to be, oh, wow, they took 3 deep shots in a row. But let's call, a couple of passes. I would love first play to be a hard play action. Like, that's what I would want, because the expectation is they're going to run. They're missing their number one wide receiver, their clear number one wide receiver. Their offensive tackle's having his first game back. And the Bengals, one thing about their defense, they have good safeties and they have good edge rushers. And they have Logan Wilson as well, good linebacker. Like, they've got good pieces. So it's not like they're like complete scrubs everywhere. Like, they're a solid defense. Right. They're not as well-rounded as, a lot of other defenses like the 49ers and things like that. But you gotta establish the thing that they're not expecting you to try and establish. When you play the Baltimore Ravens, the expectation is they try and establish the run early. Let's get them afraid of the pass, open up the run game, and that's when we get J.K. Dobbins going in this game, right? Like, that's the type of thing that I would love to see from the Baltimore Ravens this year. Sorry, I'm trying to see if Josh Bell just hit a home run. He did not. Warning track. But establishing the passing game, I think, is a huge key in this game, because I think it has to be a high-scoring game. Bengals are a high-scoring offense. They're potent. They've got great, wide receivers. Marlon Humphrey says best trio in the NFL wide receiver. I'd agree with that. So they're going to put up points, because the Ravens have the 32nd best, a.k.a. dead last in pass defense in yards per game, which they want to fix, obviously. But here's the other thing about that stat. It's kind of misleading, because the Ravens have been absolutely destroying teams, and then they're having to pass their way back into the game. They've been able to come back, but it's been, half of their games have been opponents have to throw the ball every single play in the second half, right? Look at the Jets game, look at the Bills game, look at the Dolphins game, even look at the Patriots game. In the second half, it was throw the ball, 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 get us back in. Every game has been throw us back into the game. They've been able to do it in some occasions. So the Ravens' pass defense isn't, great, but they're forcing teams to pass because their offense is so potent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it too, just how you brought up, we should be taking them, by surprise with the pass. Let's not be surprised at them trying to take us by surprise with the run. Joe Mixon has not been running the best of his career this year so far. But sometimes when running backs ain't been doing so hot, they end up trying to do pretty good with us. And you know what? We've been on the decline with establishing our run defense, but I feel like tonight they may try to establish it early with Joe Mixon. And I feel like, if Calais Campbell, Travis Jones, who else? Michael Pierce not playing. Matabike, Broderick Washington, all those guys. If they go at Joe Mixon and make them continue forcing the pass, because if we get the coverage sacks, we can definitely sack Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has shown that he is not the elitist as everybody see him as. I mean, he came in the league. He came in the league at a later age. He had to separate himself from his rookie class. So I mean, I'll give him his respect when it's due. But he hasn't deserved that elitist stage as of yet. He did. So he's showing that he's human this year. He's been making mistakes, and Marcus Williams has picked him off once or twice before when he played for New Orleans. So I know he's going to try to stay away from him. I'm looking forward to Kyle Hamilton, and Hayden Hurst matchup, and I'm looking for Kyle Hamilton actually to get a pick off of Hayden Hurst too, because I know he wants this game as bad as anyone else as well.
100%. I mean, the way Kyle Hamilton has been preparing for his games has been fantastic. But let's think about, a couple of players that the Ravens have had in their rookie games against Joe Burrow. I mean, Patrick Queen had his best game of his career against the Bengals because he was able to rush that passer. I'm going to look up Odafe Oweh versus the Bengals just out of pure curiosity, because it feels like the Ravens rookies have he has a sack against the Bengals, I think. Or maybe that's just ESPN telling me he has one sack on the season. Let's see. Oh, that's just him having one sack on the season. Ravens, Bengals, 2021. The problem is the second game, I don't think Lamar played in. Let's see. January 3rd. No, we don't need that game. Okay. Bengals 41-17. Ravens defense had no sacks. Well, yeah, that's going to hurt your team. Shout out to Wink Martindale not getting any sacks. The first game of the season, that's when we had Lamar Jackson for part of the game. Then he got injured, I think, in the game. Let's see here. Odafe Oweh, no sacks. The Ravens had one sack. Oh, two sacks, sorry. Ravens had two sacks against Joe Burrow last year. Joe Burrow is a highly sacked quarterback. They got to do that. And if you do that, like that's how you beat good quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you beat good quarterbacks, especially good quarterbacks that have very good wide receivers, is you get pressure. Because Joe Burrow isn't very mobile. Now he can roll out of the pocket, do things like that. He's not Kirk Cousins. But if you're able to get pressure, it helps so much because it's able to force him. So every time he steps back, he goes, okay, I got to go quick. Right? Because against the Ravens this year, teams, I think, have been able to say, I got time. Did they say that in The Incredibles? Is that what Mr. Incredible says? He goes, I got time. I think so. I'm pretty sure he says, like, I got time. Oh, yeah, because he's driving in the car, and they're like, oh, there's a burning building. He goes, yeah, I got time. That's quarterbacks against the Ravens defense this year. I got time. I can do that. You want me to go save some people in a burning building? You want me to throw a touchdown real quick? I got time. I can do that. I can sit in the pocket. Bengals don't have a great offensive line.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I honestly think, I know people may dislike this. I think we've got to throw out the blitz, like do blitzes. Like, we need to blitz. Even Joe Burrow is good against the blitz. I'm not trying to say he's bad. He's actually very effective against the blitz. Don't run cover zero blitzes. That's not what I'm asking for. Let's send some five-man pressures, right? Send Patrick Queen on a blitz, right? Still have a safety over top. Play off if you're going to blitz. Don't blitz on 3rd and 15. But 1st and 10 situations, I'm fine with us trying to blitz. Rattle him early in the down. Because if you get, I think people underestimate the value of getting a negative play on 1st and 10. 2nd and even, let's say it's a run and you tackle him 2 yards in the backfield. 2nd and 12 is very different from 2nd and 8, a 2-yard run. Because, like, 2nd and 8, you can hand the ball off again. Boom, it's 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, you have options. You know, you can take a shot on 3rd and 5. You can hit a medium right. You can hit a short right. You can do a lot of things. You know, maybe you get a larger run. It's 3rd and, let's say you get 5 yards on that second play. 3rd and 7 versus 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3, you can run the ball. And they have Joe Mixon, who's a really good back. And I want to say he's leading the NFL in carries this year or something like that. Like, he gets the ball a lot. Hasn't scored as much as, I think a lot of fantasy football owners would hope. I think I own Joe Mixon in one fantasy league. I got him. I'm just looking up his stats right now to see what he's got. He's gotten 27 carries week 1, 19 week 2. Week 3, he had 12 and 24 carries last week. And he has 1 rushing touchdown on the year. And no receiving touchdown. He's got 1 touchdown this year so far. Like, they're trying to give it to him. It's not working as well as they would hope, but they're trying to give it to him. I honestly think that's got to be the focus of the Ravens defense. Like, I would rather put this game on our secondary than our front 7. That could be a hot take. In the comments, everybody in the stream, let us know. Would you rather have the Bengals have to beat us with the pass or with the run? I would rather have to have them beat us with the pass. Beat Marlon Humphrey, beat Marcus Peters, beat Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams and Chuck Clark. Beat them. Because if we put it up to Patrick Queen trying to stop the run as I say Patrick Queen because he's the middle linebacker. He's supposed to be the leader of that linebacker group. The Ravens have not stopped the run at all this year. They've been atrocious. They've just been winning, so teams don't run against them. They've not been good. And Joe Mixon is by far the best running back they've faced this year.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, the best attack that they have is the passing game.
It's not that hard because Ravens doesn't use special teams. That's the whole thing.
Exactly. Evan McPherson versus Justin Tucker all night. That's a match.
I mean, it's just like I said the key for this game, the key for victory is best on best.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens defense is supposed to be built to stop the pass. They are supposed to get interceptions. They are supposed to force turnovers. They're not built to stop the run, right? Like now that Michael Pierce is injured. When they had Michael Pierce, it was like, okay, they're built to stop the run. They got their big boy in the middle. They have Adafe. They have Calais. They've got some guys that can stop the run. But right now, and Miguel, AJ Klein isn't playing because he got signed like 2 days ago. I don't even know if he's practiced with the team yet. Typically, when you sign guys, it takes a week.
Yeah, he practiced. He's not playing tonight though.
Yeah. So it's just like, let's let our playmakers be the ones that decide the game, right? And I think a lot of people hear that and they're like, then why are you mad that Lamar Jackson is, going forward on 4th down and things like that? Lamar Jackson is not our only playmaker. You got a guy named Justin Tucker, who's a playmaker. You could argue 2015 he was the MVP of the NFL. I believe that was the year where he just went absolutely crazy and won the Ravens all these games. Like, oh wow, they beat this team 15-9. It's like, wow. Justin Tucker, 3 50-yard field goals. The Ravens had no offense, but best on best. The Ravens playmakers, we want the ball to be in Lamar's hands, Mark Andrews' hands, and J.K. Dobbins' hands on offense, Justin Tucker's hands on special teams, and Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, and Marcus Peters' hands on defense. If you beat us by going through them, props to you. Like that is, you take the hat off. I'm not taking my hat off because I got my thing, right? Hats off to you. Shout out to the Braves. World champs.
No, I definitely feel like that, that's the best way to put it, honestly. I mean, when you go out there and play basketball, you're gonna put your best defender on your opponent's best shooter. You let JT call plays his special team situations, start kicking like 72-yard field goals every other week. Benjamin, if only. I mean, we know we can kick. We know we can kick the ball. The thing is it comes down to the analytics. It comes down to the analytics. It don't come down to just the game of football that we grew up and love. It comes down to all the numbers, the mathematics, and everything of that nature. So I mean, if in the perfect world things could have been different, unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah. And wow, it's already 5:07 or 8:07. I guess we started this kind of late. It's kind of the pregame stream is kind of tough to do for an hour. That's why I've kind of been starting at like 40, 45 minutes early, especially in prime time because it's just like rough because the other games are going on.
Very true.
We need to control the clock. That's true. That's 100% true. With like the Ravens clock management has been really poor. And the thing is, they've had drives. They've had some great drives. I think against the Dolphins, they had a drive where it was like, oh, they used up 9 minutes. It's like that's the type of football the Ravens want to play, right? Like that's what they want to do. That's what they did in 2019. You get up and they're able to control everything. Control the clock, control momentum, control the pace of the game. It's when they start trying to do things different, or if the run isn't working, don't try and at halftime be like, all right, we're up by 20. Let's start just running the ball. Let's run it out. Don't do that, all right? If the run game is working, stick with it. If the pass game is working, go with that. Even if let's say there's 6 minutes left in the game, right? Lamar Jackson's at 312-yard passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I don't know. Making up some stats. People will get mad if I'm like, I give them too good of stats, so I threw in the pick for you, for everyone that gets mad, right? If you have those stats and the Ravens are averaging 2.5 yards per carry, drop Lamar back. You know, he can scramble. You know, you can still run out the clock by passing the ball. Look at the Buffalo Bills. Now, the announcers were really annoying. They were kind of, you know, as the Brits would say, wanking off the Buffalo Bills, right? Because every time they throw a short pass, they're like, this is their run game. It's so smart. The way that they run the ball by passing. It's like, no, that's just playing smart football. That's not their run game. They don't have a run game. They just do short passes instead of having a run game, which is different than saying it's a run game. But they're able to go, oh, yeah, here's a 3-yard check down, right? Have Lamar call passes. J.K. Dobbins is in the flats, right? You can check it down to him. And the thing is, anytime you call a passing play, anytime, Lamar Jackson has the ability to run. That is more dangerous than any other player in the NFL is Lamar Jackson on a scramble run. Okay, I'm going to say the second most dangerous thing in the NFL. The most dangerous thing in the NFL is Derrick Henry after he catches the football. All right? Because like the Derrick Henry screen pass is horrifying. Because they just go out there and they're like, he has no linebackers in front of him. He's got 3 offensive linemen and he's got 2 defensive backs. And he's just like, oh, yeah, that's barbecue chicken right there. But instead, also shout out to the Padres. Looks like they're about to score a run. Let's go. F the Mets. I love to see it. Void, you nailed it.
I think that's another thing we talked about that last week. Like, it's a thing about, you know, time taking up the clock, but at the same time, when you take up the time of possession, we still had to score. There was too many times last week where we did had time of possession, but at the same time, we end up not getting the points. We end up not scoring, and that's how we lost the lead. It's like the second half, we just started playing conservative. Like you in today's NFL, you don't play conservative to no one. You still put up points. And we talked about it. I'll give a shout out to the defense because the defense held the Buffalo Bills to 23 points versus a Pittsburgh Steelers team. They let them put up 38 points on them. So I'll take my wins here. But at the same time, I can't keep on doing moral victories. As a fan, as you know, someone that wants to see this team, you know, prosper and be the team that they ought to be, you can't take moral victories in this league. You have to get the W's. That's the ones that's going to really count. That's the ones that's going to get to the playoffs. And in order to get this W tonight, you had to put up points. You had to take up time of possession, give that defense time to rest, and let that defense make plays. And when the defense gets you the ball back, Reward that defense. Get them the points. Hey, yo, I remember the days when, if the defense got a turnover, Lamar say, listen, I'm going to get you. We gonna take care of it from here. We're going to get you points. And they went out and did it. You can't do that in the second half. Greg Roman, he can call a strong first half. But we're just going to run the ball, and all that. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, the way that, like, when you turn the ball over, when you force a turnover, right, you got to get points. It's okay to kick a field goal. That is better than turning the ball back over and you got nothing for that turnover. It's a worthless turnover if you can't score off of it. So, kick the field goal on fourth down off of a turnover. Do it. It's completely fine. If it's at the 1 yard line, kick the field goal. It's fine. Now, if you're down by, 7 points with 2 minutes left, obviously go for the touchdown. You're down 14 with 5 minutes left, go for the touchdown. But in general, you got to make sure that you're able to capitalize on those situations. But Joshua, we got about 7 minutes till this game starts. Only a few minutes left in the stream. Let's go into the bold predictions. Offensive side of the ball, what do you got?
Offensive side of the ball, I see the wide receiver core putting up 350 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to be a mixture.
This is the Demarcus Robinson game we've been waiting for. This is the 100 yards and 1 touchdown, but it's a 40-plus yarder, double move or deep post, big touchdown, maybe in a critical spot. I think we get at least 100 yards and a touchdown out of Demarcus Robinson tonight. I think it's going to be a huge game for him.
I'm loving it.
Yolanda, this would be sick too. Defensive side of the ball.
I need that. Because there's so much talk about them having the best wide receiver core, I had them getting 2 picks and taking them to the crib. One for Marlon, one Marcus, and I got Kyle. Picking off Hayden Hurst real bad and taking it to the house.
I like the Kyle Hamilton one. I'm gonna go with I think we see a Marcus Peters pick today.
I like that.
And I think we get an Adafe strip sack.
That would be excellent.
I think those are my 2 bold predictions on the defensive side of the ball. Yolanda, I like it. Away has a great game. Would love it. Also, people are upset. Guys, these are called bold predictions. That's the whole point of being a bold prediction is they are like bold. This is the big thing. But let's get to special teams. Are there any bold predictions for special teams? We
actually get 9 points out of Justin Tucker, and Jordan Stout puts it in their 10-yard line twice. Because I feel like we are going to get stopped. We are going to get stopped. I'm not going to take that away. So they actually going to use their punter and kicker tonight.
I think we get a return touchdown. I said it at the beginning of the stream. I think Devin Duvernay has been unbelievable on kick returns. And shout out to the blocking as well.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh. I don't like John Harbaugh, but the one thing you can always count on is when the special teams is out there, they will play very well. And they've been very good. So I think that those are kind of right there. Let's get a score prediction, to kind of end off the show. I saw somebody put a score prediction. I haven't seen it. Someone says Raven Ron put one in. I haven't seen it. But Joshua, what do you think the final score is going to be?
I'm going 31-27 Ravens way.
Now, is this a big lead that turns into a very small lead and a stressful one, or is this a comeback? What are you thinking on that side of things? Or is it just close all game?
I think it's just close all game, honestly. It's going to be a dogfight tonight. Okay, Ravens, wrong.
I agree. I do think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it is going to be high scoring. I'm going to go with.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with.
I respect that void.
I'm going to go 34.
Mm-hmm.
20. 27. 34-27 Ravens win. And I think the Ravens get they kick a field goal with a couple minutes left, so the Bengals have a chance to have a drive to tie the game, like a minute and a half left or something like that. They kick a field goal to extend the lead.
Okay, I like that. I can respect that. I mean, we've been known to give up the lead in the second half and not play the best. So it really comes down to the play call and the execution of the plays.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. We will be live when this game ends. So, stay tuned for that. But thank you, everybody, for coming in. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content. We'll see all of you after this game, hopefully, as the leader in the AFC North.